Lenten Lunchtime Lesson by Father Andrew, the Society of the Divine Compassion. Monday after Lent 1. Christ our companion. Nevertheless, I am alway by thee, for thou hast holden me by thy right hand. Thou shalt guide me with thy counsel, and after that receive me with glory. Whom I have in heaven but thee, and there is none upon earth that I desire in comparison of thee. Psalm 123, verse 22 through 24. This very beautiful psalm is attributed to Asaph, to whom there are many allusions in the Bible, as one to whom was entrusted the arrangement of the services in Solomon's temple. He was a writer of psalms and a great musician, and is called in one verse Asaph the seer. The psalm deals with an age-long problem of the successive wickedness in the world, the problem of evil and pain, in a word, with the very same problems with which the book of Job deals. And it seems very certain that Asaph was acquainted with that magnificent poem. But whereas the book of Job tries to find a solution to the problem of pain and evil in the retributive justice of God, falling on the evil and indulgence and reward of God coming to the good, the psalm does not try to explain the problem, which it leaves, just teaching that the mystical union with the presence of God transcends the problem and dissipates it as light dissipates darkness. We hear much talk about comradeship and fellowship, and those are very fine and splendid things, but there is something more intimate, tender, and enduring, which we call companionship. The notes of the comrade and the fellow are cheerfulness and courage. The note of companionship is understanding. With your comrade, you keep smiling. To your companion, you can confide your difficulty, your doubt, and your sin. Christ in this life is the perfect companion that Christ alone can be. A man who has fallen from faith wrote thus of his agnosticism, "The great companion is gone." What a terrible knell of sadness there is in those words. Our Lord asked the Jews, "What think ye of Christ?" He asked of his apostles, "Whom do ye say that I am?" A thoughtful man who faces the fact of Christ, for Christ is a fact whatever one may think or say, he must come to one of three conclusions in his mind. Either he's an invention, or an evolution, or a revelation. Those who have come to him along the spiritual path have known him to be the revelation of God and the revelation of the divine companionship with man. The 73rd Psalm, a very poignant psalm, tells of a man who in his life came very near complete unbelief, and then, after spiritual conflict and doubt, emerged with faith to the divine companionship. Nevertheless, he says, "I am alway by thee, for thou hast holden me by my right hand. Thou shalt guide me with thy counsel, and after that receive me with glory." Here is an experience of the realized companionship of God, taking a soul through the inexplicable darkness, pain, and the perplexity of the flesh. Flesh and heart might fail, but the divine companionship brought a certainty and security full of hope and rest. St. Paul, speaking of his life and writing to the Philippians in a time of peril, says that to him, to live is Christ and to die is gain. And further, he speaks of death as to depart and to be with Christ, which is far better. Better than what? It must mean that he expects to pass to a still richer companionship with Christ. If our souls are living in reality, they are living in an increasing awareness of the companionship of Christ that will pass on to a yet richer experience of that blessed reality. St. Paul, again, writing to the Thessalonians in their bereavement, asks that what is the goal and end of life? So shall we ever be with the Lord, he says. He does not go into details about heaven. He tells of its essential blessedness. It is being with the beloved. If some were to enlarge on all the glories of the great house he was going to live in, to a little boy who's being sent away from home, the little whimpering cry would come, "I want mommy." Mommy to him means everything. St. Paul does not go into details about harps and crowns and glories. He just says that the heaven of our souls is to be forever with the Lord. that blessed one, whose wondrous mind, perfect holiness, and unutterable love give to this life its motive, its meaning, and its peace, would also give to heaven its richness, its light, and its everlasting glory. Forever with the Lord, this makes earth heaven. This makes heaven